Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is K back at it with a new K boxing. Today I want to talk about a great fight that's coming up July 29th. And you know who I'm finna talk about. Errol the Truth Spence versus Terence Bud Crawford. Finally, this is going to be for all the marbles. Earl the Truth Spence, he's holding the IBF, WBA, WBC welterweight belts. Terence Bud Crawford is holding the final belt, which is a WBO belt. These guys are kind of getting up in age because Errol Spence is 33 years of age, and Terence Bud Crawford is 35. So, in the day, 30s were considered getting up there in age for boxing. But nowadays, these guys can just go into their 40s, I guess, and Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Ennis, I guess they're going to have to wait a little bit longer because these guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon. However, Errol Spence is talking about going up to super welterweight. And then his buddy Jamel Charlo, I guess, is going to go up to middleweight. I hope I'm saying that right. And his brother, Jamal Charlo, is going up to super middleweight. But that's for another day. I'm not here to talk about who's moving up and who's going to do what. What I want to talk about today is who wins between Errol Spence and Terence Bud Crawford. Who do you think is going to win? Let's talk about it. But before we get started, let's do the tale of the tape. Errol the Truth Spence, he's 33 years of age. He's 5 feet 9 inches. He's got a reach of 72 inches. He's a southpaw. He's got a record of 28, 0, and 22 by way of knockout. His last fight was against Eudanis Ugas, which was a really good fight. And Ugas almost caught Spence in that 4th round. But, Errol Spence pulled it out, and, and that's all that matters in boxing, right? Okay, Terence Bud Crawford, he's 5'8". He's got a reach of 70 inches, and he's a special fighter because he's a switch hitter. And we're going to get into that in a minute. Crawford's got a record of 39, 0, and 30 by way of knockout. And his last big fight was when he fought David Avanesian. I hope I'm not tearing up his name too much. But the fight before that is when he fought Sean Porter, which was a really good fight. So who wins? These guys, especially Errol Spence. Errol Spence is trying to pull a Floyd Mayweather number. He's trying to say, hey, I'm going to hold out for Crawford because I want a big payday. I don't think that Spence is going to be around a lot more years. I think that Bud Crawford fight is going to define who he is. I mean, he's got all the marbles right now. He just needs the WBO to say, hey, I got all the marbles. So, I think Spence at age 33 is looking at the exit door. He want to make enough money in the next couple of years where he can go on his ranch and just, relax and go to the fights like all the other retired boxers. And what about Bud Crawford? Well, Bud Crawford, same thing. I think these guys know that at 35 years of age, eventually you're going to have to get a young lions an opportunity like Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Ennis. But for now, these two are the top tier guys. So, kudos to them. This is going to be a really close fight because Errol the Truth Spence, he's going to come straight ahead throwing nothing but power. If you watch that Ugas fight, it was a really good fight. And so Earl, he's taller. I think he's the stronger of the two fighters, and I think he hits the harder of the two fighters. So it's going to be a defining moment for Earl. So let's talk about Terence Bud Crawford. Crawford is a really special fighter. He really is because number one, he's a switch hitter, which means that he can change up on you and go either way, which I love about Crawford. Crawford has a lot of tools in the toolbox too. He's fought some bigger fighters, so it's not a question of Spence, bullying him in the ring because I don't think that that's going to happen. And I think that Crawford, he starts out a little slow. He starts to warm up around like the sixth round when Crawford really got all the gears moving and he's starting to come on. And Crawford just he's got great jabs, great combination, good foot movement. He can switch hit. He's strong. He don't look like it, but he really is. So he's got strength too, and so it's just going to be an interesting fight because Spence. Much as I love me some Spence, Spence doesn't have the boxing style of a Crawford. Spence is straight ahead, a lot of punches, a lot of body punches and body shots and things of that sort, which is going to put most fighters out. But if Crawford can kind of stay out of firing range and stay focused on what he's there to do, I'm going to give the slight edge to Crawford because I think overall, Terence Bud Crawford is the better fighter. He's got more of a package. Spence is a southpaw, so that can make things interesting because, southpaws are always difficult. So by Spence being a southpaw, that can kind of make it a little bit more challenging for Crawford. And Crawford, by him being a switch hitter, vice versa, is going to make it more challenging for Spence in there. And I think that the only way Spence is going to win this fight is going to have to be by knockout. And I think Crawford, on the other hand, can win by unanimous decision, or he can possibly win by knockout. But I think if Crawford wins, it's going to be by decision. I think if Spence wins, it's going to be by knockout. And I think these guys both going to go to the middle to late rounds, and they might even go all the way to the 12th round. So it remains to be seen. I think these guys know that, Tam isn't on their side, so that's why they went on and agreed to this fight. Spence is worth, I believe, like $7 to $8 million, and I think Crawford is worth about $8. So they know that Tam is not on their side, and they would never make the same type of money Floyd Mayweather made when he fought. But, that's just the way it is. Floyd was a special fighter, great at marketing himself, and so kudos to Mayweather. So let me know, what do you think? Do you think Errol Spence is going to win this fight, or do you think Terence Bud Crawford is going to win this fight? And then we just, wait till July 29th and see for ourselves. Again, this is Kate back at it with another Kate Boxing, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care, guys.